Hi guys, my name is Catherine and welcome to my YouTube channel that I talk about various topics covering different aspects of life. So today I'm going to tell you about, I had promised, so when I've talked about my previous video about the civil war that I experienced in Nairobi. I told you I'm going to talk about the terror attack that I experienced. For those of you who are not born yet, this is how it was from a civilian's eyes. Although I was not in town that time, I experienced it just from my home, how it felt for those people who are not so many kilometers away from home. Away from town, how they could feel it, the tremors. I was on vacation that time, so I was sleeping quite late. No, I was sleeping late into the day. And then at around 10, I had something like a 6.5 tremor kind of movement. We were staying in apartments that time. And I woke up very fast. That was my alarm on that day. Woke up, checked out the window, and to my surprise, people in other apartments were also looking out the windows. And we were like, what the hell is going on? I can say that terrorists are the most cowardly people in the world when it comes to fighting. Very coward. It's like I beat your big sister, then you go and beat my small sister. Why don't you come and beat me myself? That's how they are. Like the Americans, you are helping the Americans to protect other countries, or you like Americans, you work with Americans. So I come and blast you. I come and cause terror in your country because you work with the Americans and your target is the Americans in that country. But most of the times, it is the citizens of that country who are not even Americans who end up being injured. So, Mr. Osama bin Laden, the late one, as a spirit, I'm asking you, why don't you go to America and face the Americans themselves instead of coming to countries that are innocent and causing more harm to the citizens than to the Americans in that particular country? Because I remember during this bomb blast, anyway, there are several, not just Al Qaeda that we've had. We've had Al Shabaab, but these ones don't use a bomb blast. They use grenades and guns, Somalis. And Al Qaeda was the biggest one. So they came, they killed Kenyans. And if I remember, it was one American they killed. Well, since I did not hear, as I was saying, I woke up and looked out the window. And since I did not hear any more tremors, I assumed, oh, things are back to normal. Maybe it was just an earthquake, as I thought. And I decided, let me go for my normal walks. So when I got out of the gate, somebody asked me, hey, where are you going? And things are bad in town. I was like, what's your business? I asked, what's the problem in town? I'm not going to town anyway, I'm just walking around. He told me, go back home, things are bad. I was like, what the hell? This is not your country, I'm free to walk. When she says things are bad is when I went to find out what this bad thing is, my curiosity. So I began walking faster and she just looked at me and continued walking back, walking wherever she was going faster, thinking, oh, this one is mad. And then I began seeing vehicles driving without their tops. I was like, what the hell? The vehicles were looking ashy. You wouldn't read what was written on them, and they had no rooftops. I was like, what is going on? And the people in that vehicle, the touts, that is the ones who collect money, they ask me, unaenda wapi? As in, where are you going? Things are bad. Oh, when they say that is when I will leave and walk fast to find out what the hell is this bad. I don't know what was wrong with me. I think I was excited about such things like adventure, adrenaline causing things. So I was walking faster to go and see what's going on. Then another vehicle without a rooftop passed again, and another one. I was like, what the hell? I wanted to see what's going on, and I'm walking very fast toward the source. Then suddenly I heard an announcement in a loudspeaker like, the Nairobi hospital needs blood, blood, blood. So many people are injured. If you have this blood group, go to the hospital immediately. I knew that I had this blood group they're looking for. So I was like, wow, maybe I'll find out what's going on from that hospital. It was not very far from where I was working. It was in the neighborhood. So I decided just to cross over and go and check what is happening. And when I was going towards there, I was seeing people in bandages, broken arms, and I was hearing people saying the morgues are full. I was like, what the hell is going on? That's when I realized this thing must be serious. And the only way I can find it is go to the hospital and donate blood. Anyway, people are injured, so probably they might need my blood. Who knows? So the more I walked towards the hospital, the more I was seeing injured people with bandages. They had been discharged already. I was like, wow, this was so fast. And there were so many ambulance sirens going on around that area, the Nairobi hospital, and others going into the morgue. I was like, wow, the morgue. So I just decided to call out my relatives and see, oh, is anyone alive still? And everybody was like, we're also trying to find out what's happening. So when I reached the hospital, I saw a lot of gloves with blood scattered everywhere, and some Indians who, I don't know what they were, looking for fame or insurance people. I really don't know what they were, but they were walking around with walkie-talkies, over. They're young, walking up and down, and when I was observing them, I was saying, like, there's nothing they're doing, actually, just walking around with the walkie-talkies trying to look important. Kenyans are very funny when it comes to disaster. They want to stand out like they did this and this. Now these Indians were walking around with walkie-talkies, talking nothing with the walkie-talkies. Because I tried to listen, maybe I'll get some information of what's happening. All I was hearing is over, walking up and down. So I was thinking, are they insurance people looking for the people to insure or what? But I was thinking, I don't think if they're insurance, they will be looking for their people to insure. They will be running away. So these were just looking for fame, to appear on telly. Anyway, I assume they knew that they're going to appear on some media. It's going to appear at one point or another. I didn't know that, but I think I reached there before the media, because I remember I appeared on telly. I didn't expect that. I was so embarrassed. I was standing on the line of blood donation, but I didn't get to donate blood because I think I was underweight, or they tell me so, that I'm slim that time. It's my body structure. But they looked at me and told me, no, you cannot. You need blood, I think. Anyway, I left the place with some information anyway, that there had been a bomb blast. One in Tanzania, one in Nairobi, at exactly the same time. The American embassies were bombed at the same time. Now, when you will look at the situation, you look at the area that was bombed, you'll wonder, was it the belly bottom? It was called the belly bottom building. It was a commercial building for Kenyans. Colleges, offices were all there. Very long, tall building. And the American embassy was flat, yes. But this building had more people. I don't know whether it was one American or two American. I think one American was killed or something. I don't know what he was doing there. And more than 200 Kenyans were killed. So you wonder, this Al-Qaeda, what was your target? Was it Kenya or was it America, Mr. the late Osama bin Laden? Was it Kenya or you're targeting, or was it America? Or you're looking for the weaker people just to show your vengeance? So these people made Kenyans lose their babies. Some women miscarried because of the tremors that were caused by the bomb blast. If you're in the radius of like 600 meters, you had some injuries. The shrapnels, because it was a very long building and it mostly had glass. It was all flattened. Some people jump from the buildings. You know, when you experience such a thing, you of course don't think you will jump. I don't know what happens to people. I think you get mixed up. Some people died not because of the blast of the bomb, but they died because they jumped from buildings. Some people died because they were trapped under the rubbles. Some people died because of the shock. Some people died afterwards. Some were blind because their eyes were damaged by the shrapnels, whatever they are called. The particles that come from the building that is destroyed, it blown off, things like that. They were injured by that. The ones who are also traveling in vehicles were also injured. Those were the other casualties. Because of course, if your vehicle has no rooftop, what do you expect of the passengers? Probably no heads. Then probably these are the ones that were driven into the mortuaries. Now, all these vehicles became ambulances because we were short of ambulances. The public transportation that had no rooftops were also transporting bodies to the morgues. This is what Mr. Osama bin Laden did. The cowardice of a terrorist. Why don't you go and fight the country that you want to terrorize instead of coming for innocent people? This was not the first one, but this was the first. These were the bomb blasts that I've experienced. The other terror attacks happened much later on, but these were, the normal grenade by the Somalis, Al-Shabaab. I don't know what those guys want to remove their troops from Somalia. Then there is remove our troops from Somalia. So why don't you go and kill those troops instead of killing the civilians? And then we have the Westgate Mall, the supermarket bomb. No, these are not bombs. These are just shotguns. Terrorists shooting people. They shoot people and they pray in the middle of it. And then we have the Jesuit Garissa bomb blast. They bombed the university. What have the students done to you guys? Students are going to class. You go and kill them. Why don't you go and kill the soldiers who are just next door to the students? And what were those soldiers doing anyway? And then we have the Dusit Hotel bomb blast. They say that they look for places that have a lot of foreigners. But one thing that makes me wonder, what did the Garissa University have to do with the foreigners? This university, was it in Garissa or whatever, the northern part of Kenya? What did this university have to do with the Americans? Oh, these students were Kenyans. They have just various excuses. So they're just evil. They just want to kill as a ritual, or I don't know what. This world is full of evil. I tell you, evil. I was lucky I did not experience those, and I hope I don't experience any more. The bomb blast I did not experience, but I just watched the aftermath. I experienced the aftermath of Al-Qaeda with Osama bin Laden. That same evening on telly, he was very happy. He was announcing, he had this kind of posture. I don't know what it was, something like with his long beard. And he was announcing his victory. He was announcing his victory for having bombed Tanzania and Kenya embassies and killing more Tanzanians and more Kenyans in the process. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Thank you, Mr. Obama, for killing him. But the guy said he did not bomb the Twin Towers. He was like, no, that was not me. This is Osama. That was not me. So the Twin Towers is a mystery also. He says he was not the one. That guy, as I know him, if he does something, he will announce. So that's a mystery. Anyway, if you like, share, and subscribe. Ciao.